What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Moon Knight issue number 18. This is bringing a conclusion to everything that has been going on with the organization run by the Tutor. What we have seen is the Tutor truly trying to make this vampire organization, this foundation. He is trying to take over everything. But for the Tutor, it all starts in New York City, with an international conclave of vampires gathering right now. The Tutor and the Structure, they are making a play for some kind of recognition within the vampire nation. But the Fist of Khonshu, he is more than ready to show these bloodsuckers who truly owns the night. Now, be sure to subscribe to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up with Moon Knight and Tigra finding themselves right in the middle of the festivities. Vampires completely surrounding them. Some of the best, some of the strongest from all over the world, they have all come to hear the Tutor talk. He is trying to build up the Structure across the globe. Moon Knight, he has come to crash this party, with Moon Knight starting off the dialogue, saying that all the blood that has been spilled between the two of them, all of the beatings, all of the bruising, all of the killing, it is a surprise to Moon Knight that the two of them have not met face to face. Moon Knight had never heard his voice, never seen his face, never looked him in the eyes and told him that he is going to kill him. This is where the Tutor, he tries to kind of deflect it, talking to all of the guests behind his podium, saying that this is what he is talking about. This man, this superhero, he represents the old way of thinking. That Moon Knight has sat here and he has tried to fight the Structure, and the only thing he has accomplished is nothing. That this is a relic of the past. Moon gods and superheroes, futile statements, and suicidal confrontations. But he believes that the Structure, it represents the future. The Tutor letting him know that you may have killed my guards, but you have just walked into the Hornet's Nest, a room full of the world's vampire elite. Did you really think that you could walk in here and just walk out? Saying that Moon Knight is going to be raffled off to the highest bidder as a door prize. Moon Knight cutting him off, saying that it was a great speech. That all the vampires here, they have come under the impression that New York is safe for vampires. That it represents a territory to be profited from. But they have all forgotten one thing. That New York City, it belongs to Moon Knight. That this territory is his, and he is not going to allow the trespassing of any blood drinkers. That is what takes us to many floors below. We have Reese and we have Soldier. With Soldier, once upon a time being in the ranks of Hydra, he has learned many skills. He is able to break into the security system. He is able to break into the sprinkler system, taking full control over everything that is hooked up to the automated system. We also learn that he is fully dedicated to working for Moon Knight, that he knows he more than likely is going to die in the service of Moon Knight, but this gives his life some kind of purpose. As we jump back up to the main floor, we have Moon Knight telling Soldier to activate it. Moon Knight popping up his umbrella. Soldier activates the sprinkler system. As the water comes pouring down, the Tutor runs and he charges at Moon Knight, asking if this was his plan. Was Moon Knight simply trying to make him angry before he ate him, knowing that Taskmaster was an idiot to be afraid of him, going on to call him a superhero? Moon Knight reminds him that he is not a superhero. He is a priest. And this water, the one coming from the sprinkler system, it has been consecrated. He consecrates this water to the service of Khonshu. This water turns into holy water. And we see every vampire in this place begin to burst into flames. Tigra getting her nails done with silver claw caps. This is an absolute bloodbath, with Hunter's Moon throwing down the sword that is silver. We see both Fists of Khonshu coming in, and they are getting their revenge, as Moon Knight makes his way to the Tutor in all of the chaos, letting him know that he has killed so many of the Structure's people, but yet this organization was still able to survive. That is because that is how it was built. He could afford to lose the rank and file. He would simply make more. He needed to find the Structure's weakness, and it was there right in front of him the whole time. The truth is, that someone like the Tutor, he would never build an organization that could survive when he died. That this all stipulated on the Tutor being alive. The Tutor being the one to run it all. With the Tutor having his last breath, pleading and begging, telling Moon Knight that he will do anything to help the Midnight Mission grow and expand, that he can be useful. But Moon Knight has heard enough of it. Now, Moon Knight had told Tigra to really find somebody, keep them alive so they can get some answers out of them. That is where they find Renfield, working for the vampires. Moon Knight has no intention of killing this guy. In fact, he wants a message sent to Dracula. They are sending the human back to Dracula, and what they are saying is that they are going to let it be known that this is what happens when you make a move on New York. To send him back to Chernobyl and send this as a warning that if Dracula, the vampire nation, if they make any kind of move on New York City, they will face against the Fists of Khonshu. That is what takes us to our private prison for superhumans, having Robert Plesko, the psychotherapist in charge of taking care of some of these prisoners. He is sitting down and he is having a conversation with Zodiac, not knowing what their plan is, not knowing what is in store. What we see is that Zodiac, he may very well be making a return. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Definitely a fun and awesome conclusion to the story arc that was the Tutor and the Structure. I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to see Blade in here, especially after what we just saw in that Blade one-shot with the Vampire Nation. Blade being the sheriff of Vampire Nation. I'm hoping that eventually we're gonna see him introduced, that he is going to play a part, especially with Moon Knight sending out a message to Chernobyl, to Dracula himself. You would think that Dracula would respond in some kind of way, shape, or form. Now, that may not be the case because Dracula is trying to create a nation that is recognized by the rest of the world. That they aren't bloodsuckers. They aren't out here killing the innocents any longer. We can expect, for at least the time being, for Dracula to do nothing. That does not mean that we can't see Blade pop up at some point in time. But it looks like Moon Knight is going to have his hands full regardless. Because with Zodiac being really examined in prison, given his hood, as they begin their conversation, we can only imagine what this is inevitably going to lead to. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything that has been going on with Moon Knight, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is gonna get you completely caught up on everything that has been going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having 5 different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.